What's going on, everyone? I'm not in a great mood. Yeah, I'm pretty annoyed right now. But this should shock no one, because this is what Democrats are about. This is what I have long accused them of being. This is what I have long accused them of being. Right? Are any of us really surprised that 10 Democrats sided with Maga? Is anyone surprised? You thought these guys were going to do something? No. This is our party. This is our party right here. What's going on, Cat in the Hat? What's up, Laura, Carly, Deb, Jin, Becca, Dat Guy, Erica, Mindful, what's going on, Jure, Autismal, what's going on? How are you? Tina K, Tiffany, yeah, I'm pretty mad tonight. Can everyone hit the thumbs up button? Everyone hit the thumbs up button. Would really appreciate doing that this evening. I don't know, people. I'm pretty defeated tonight. I'm pretty defeated. I don't even know what to say.
On this vote, the yeas are 224. The nays are 198, with 2 answering present. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The House will come to order. The House will come to order. Shh. Will Representative Green present himself to the well?
Green is the man who stood up and protested during the State of the Union, although it wasn't really a State of the Union. It was just jointly addressing Congress. What's up, John? 10 Democrats sided with MAGA. 10 Democrats sided with MAGA. If you're not on my Substack, I posted each one of their names. Because they need to be called. Because this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I was really disappointed in Jared Moskowitz. Anyone else? Anyone pissed at Jared Moskowitz? You angry? You mad? I'm furious. Let me put out a notification. Oh, it annoyed me. But I mean, like, isn't this kind of what we've been saying?
By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured.
Yes, Jared Moskowitz sided with MAGA. And the reason that they're saying he did this, is because they believe in the office of the presidency, and that under no circumstances should we be breaking decorum. Why are they still acting like this is a normal sequence of events that's happening here? This is fascism taking over the country, and Democrats are letting it happen.
Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House has come to order. The House has come to order. What's that?
You want to let him keep doing this, or it's only clear?
Jesus.
The House has come to order. Clear the well, please. Clear the well. The House has to continue its business.
And if you want to clear a recess, you can do that too. In the next
Just say the House is in recess.
You know, I at least feel better that people are going down with some kind of a fight. And instead, we can't even get Democrats to be unified in their support for them. This is disgraceful. That's what this is. This is disgraceful. Yeah, I'm furious. I'm furious. Let's take a second to at least listen to Al Green, right? We have Trump in the Oval Office, but let's listen to a few minutes of Al Green at least in the meantime, just quickly.
Mr. Speaker, and still I rise. And still I rise, a proud, liberated Democrat, unbought, unbossed, and unafraid. And I rise today, Mr. Speaker, to...
Yes, 10 Democrats. 10 Democrats joined with the MAGA House Republicans today to censure Al Green for his protest during Trump's joint address to Congress. This shows how broken the Democratic Party is. Don't you understand how bad this is today? Jared Moskowitz siding with MAGA? That's where we are? Jared Moskowitz siding with MAGA? Saying that they have too much respect for the Oval Office to allow what Al Green did to go unpunished? This is proof of everything I've been saying. These Democrats are not capable. They're not unified. This highlights the division in this party between progressives and establishment liberals, and proves that those numbers are correct, that less than 15% of the party represents us. Me and you.
Call to the attention of the House, this place that I revere, and notwithstanding recent events that I have great respect for. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in response to a censure that took place as it relates to my behavior. I have been told by some that they did not have an opportunity to hear the actual resolution as it was.
If you are not furious tonight, go grab a drink, get your coffee, get a soda, whatever you have to do, but get pissed. I want some people mad tonight. I want some people angry tonight, because you should be mad. Deb, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate you. Swan Sparrow, thank you for the $2 super chat. Guys, contributing to the gifting goal helps push the live, so I'd appreciate it.
Was read. I have here HRES 189, the censure resolution, as it relates to my behavior. I believe this resolution should be read. I am not in any way upset.
I'm not going to do the whole thing because it's long, but I'm just giving the beginning part so we can, because Trump was also talking in the, we got so much shit to go over here. Emily's Blunt, thank you for the $4.99, says F those Dems better get primaried. Al Green is a hero for the people. Listen, the Jared Moskowitz one hurts the most for me. That one hurt. Chrissy Houlihan of Pennsylvania. Jim Costa, California. Ed Case of Hawaii. This party's just not. This party doesn't have it, people. We're in big trouble. We're in big fucking trouble. Emily's Blunt, thank you for that $4.99. Appreciate you.
That with the Speaker I want people to know that the Speaker did what he was supposed to do. He did what he was supposed to do when we had the joint session of Congress. When I interrupted, the Speaker called it to my attention. He did it on multiple occasions. I have no reason in my heart to be upset with the Speaker. Later, persons came over and escorted me out. I appreciate them. They were very kind to me, the officers, very kind. They said kind words to me.
Well, yeah, they're just doing their job. I'm not going to blame them. But, like, I'm mad at Democrats.
And as a result of my behavior, I have been censured. I'm going to read the resolution and give some commentary.
You can't even protest. Swan Sparrow, thank you for the $5. Says, we can't trust the politicians. It's all about money. 100%. 100%. This is up to us, people. This is up to us.
It reads, H-Res 189. In the House of Representatives, Mr. Newhouse submitted the following resolution, which was referred to the Committee on, and the copy that I have does not have a committee. I'm not sure it was referred to a committee. It may have come straight to the floor. But regardless as to how it arrived, it did. And I'm not contesting the procedure. The resolution...
Oh, forget Hakeem Jeffries, too. I mean, these people are so damn weak, dude. I'm tired of this shit. Guys, I hate to say this. I'm starting to think I may not want to be a Democrat anymore. I don't know what else to do. I'm so beyond disgusted. I don't know where to go. And a lot of people are going to be super pissed at me the day that I say I no longer support Democrats. But I'm telling you, it's happening. This party is a joke. They can't even... Moskowitz has incredible sway in this party. How dare you? How dare you?
Resolution reads, censuring Representative Al Green of Texas. Whereas on March 4, 2025, during the joint...
No, it's not extreme. Look, this isn't just my reaction, Tiffany. This isn't just a reaction to this. This has been going on for years. I am tired of being the minority in this party. I'm tired of being represented by 13% of my own party. 80%, I'm being generous when I say 80% of this party doesn't represent me. It's more like 85, 87. Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Pete Buttigieg, those people represent me. But Democrats as a whole and their reaction to this presidency has been so incredibly disappointing. I don't know what else to say. I'm disgusted.
Joint session of Congress convened pursuant to House Concurrent Resolution 11. The President of the United States, speaking at the invitation...
10 Democrats is a lot to support that. Yes, this is not a small issue. This is monstrous. This highlights a large problem in the Democratic Party. They are clearly divided. And for the people asking why would they vote to censure Al Green, right? Why would Democrats side with Maga to censure Al Green? And the answer is simple. It's what I've talked about before, which is that they are reacting to this presidency like a normal presidency. And their answer is going to be, we must respect the position of President of the United States. That the office of the President of the United States is what's more important here. And that we must maintain decorum. They're asking you to be civilized in response to fascism, people. Let me say that again. They're asking you to be civilized in a response to fascism. They also used to tell you to be civilized in response to racism. They tell you to be civilized in response to homophobia. Your response should not be civilized. You should be morally outraged, to say the least, at what's happening right now. And if you are not morally outraged, there's something wrong with you.
Of the House and the Senate had his remarks interrupted by Representative disrupted the...
Let me read this really quick, because Heidi, thank you so much for the Venmo. Heidi said... Heidi, first of all, thank you so much for the support in the Venmo. I really appreciate you. And you wrote something important here. You said, somebody please tell me why those two pterodactyls, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, didn't get censured for screaming during Biden's speech. Exactly. Exactly. They're trying to maintain a standard that doesn't exist. But we're worse off now. Now we're talking about they want you... It's no different than if you were telling people, hey, you shouldn't be outraged watching, Hitler give a speech. Fascism is fascism. You should be outraged. And the Democrats that voted should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. I just say Moskowitz is probably the most disappointing of the 10. You can see the 10 on my Substack if you go. There's quite a few. Off the top of my head, Moskowitz, Costa, Houlihan, Pennsylvania, Houlihan, Perez, Moskowitz. Did I already say Moskowitz? Laura Gillen. Yeah, that's where it is.
Proceedings of the joint address and was a breach of proper conduct. And whereas after numerous disruptions, the representative from Texas had to be removed from the chamber by the sergeant at arms. Now, therefore, be it resolved that 1, Representative Al Green be censured.
A HELOC isn't the only way to tap into your home's equity. In fact,
hold on, I gotta move past this. Laura, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, how could they have betrayed all of us? I'm so disgusted. So am I. Listen, there's one thing that will cause me to never have respect for you, and it's betrayal. It's people who are not loyal. It's people who can't stand for what's right, even when things are difficult. Right? Things are difficult. And Democrats need to be sticking together regardless of what happens here. And they can't even do it here. Because they're not loyal to you. Okay? And don't give me that the office of the presidency is important and we need to maintain decorum bullshit. Because I don't buy that bullshit for a second. Because if that was the case, then you would have used the constitutional clause available to you to disqualify Trump and ensure that he never became president. Or at least attempt to. If the office of the presidency is so important, then you would have done a better job making sure you won that election. Don't tell me it's so important and then do what you did.
Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. And 3, Representative Al Green is censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. Some things bear repeating. That concludes the resolution. But some things bear repeating. I respect the Speaker. I have no ill feelings toward the Speaker. none toward the persons that escorted me away from the floor, because I did disrupt. And I did so because
tons of people have been censured.
The president indicated that he had a mandate. And I wanted him to know that he didn't have a mandate.
The issue with this is that you're protesting fascism in your own government. This is the problem. And it's just an example of how democracy is going to die. And it's going to be with a whimper.
To cut Medicaid. I did this because Medicaid is the only insurance many people have in this country. I am blessed. As I stand here now, there's a physician waiting. If something should
remember why he stood up, because of the mandate.
Happen, I will be taken to that physician. I have the best health care in the world. There are other people who have less than I. I would have them have what I have. But I surely will not stand by and see them lose what little they do have. Medicaid is for people who don't have the kind of health care that 435 members of Congress and 100 members of the Senate have. But they do have some health care. It has been approved by legislation that the Energy and Commerce Committee would cut $880 billion.
What happens to him? Nothing really. But it's just essentially a violation of... So they make you stand there, they embarrass you, and then you have a marker, a violation of proper conduct on your record. So it's a message, essentially, that you're sending to the American people that this is the indirect message you're sending. Let me just explain this to everyone. This is the indirect message you're sending. Sit down, shut up, and respect Trump because he's the president of the United States. That is the message you're sending to the American people. So, should we be protesting anymore? Or does it not matter because he's the president? Should we be trying to use our voice, or does it just not matter because he's the president? Should we just respect the office of the president of the United States even if he's using unconstitutional action? Sit down, shut up, and make sure you're polite. Make sure you're polite no matter what they're doing to you.
From their budget. The overwhelming majority of that budget has to do with health care. I see no way for this cut to take place without cutting into Medicaid.
No, he brought up the grocery thing for a total of 90 seconds. He didn't even say groceries. He just talked about inflation. And he talked about it for about 90 seconds. Again, Republicans are back to not doing anything for the American people, which I knew was going to happen. It's not about doing anything but just attacking people now. You know, it's very typical.
I am going to fight the cutting of Medicaid.
Yeah, Amy, they forget often that they fucking work for us. They forget that often. All right, let's listen to Trump took a bunch of questions today. I want to hear the question and answers he took today. As much as I hate this guy, I have to keep track of what he's doing. So this was just moments ago, and let's check in here.
You've done this before? Huh? Oh, really? First time. They'll be nice.
E.E. Green, thank you for the $4.99. As a lifelong Democrat, I feel more frustrated and dismayed by the party than ever before. I really worry about its future. So do I, E.E. Green. Thank you for the $4.99, E.E. Green. This man deserves so much more. His words make the rest of these quiet Dems look pathetic. I agree. Let's see what he says.
Hello, Peter.
President Trump, how are you today?
President Trump, how are you today? Such a good guy. He's a good guy.
Thank you very much. Today we're...
Chrissy, thank you so much for the $4.99. So this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause. Yep. Yep, exactly. Sad, really.
Delighted.
It's not all Democrats. It's just I get frustrated by the level of division, I think. It kind of like, it's like a punch in the gut when I see that people are going to do nothing different, which I figured was going to happen anyway. Mrs. Jody May, thank you for the 1999 super chat. Let's go, Miss Jody May. Thank you so much, Miss Jody May. We only have 30 minutes left. So thank you, Miss Jody May.
To be joined by Rodolphe Sade, the chairman and CEO of CMA CGM, one of the largest shipping companies in the world, probably number 2 in the world, probably going to be number 1 in the not too distant future, knowing him. They employ over 160,000 employees. They have 750 major container vessels worldwide. And I'm thrilled to announce that he's going to be investing $20 billion into the United States because of the election results, which comes along with a lot of other things like great protections and other things. This massive investment will go toward building out shipping logistics, infrastructure, and terminals, which will create an estimated 10,000 new jobs in America. It's so important because it's about shipping. You know, we lost...
Yeah. Let's get into the thick of it.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Yes, indeed, we are CMA CGM, one of the leaders in shipping.
Frustrate good government policies, suspend security clearance.
You're coming up and
God, I hate this other
even
guy.
bringing it to our attention. It's really a great...
Suspend security clearances and access to certain federal resources for that law firm, and also launch a holistic review of unlawful DEI practices at some of the nation's largest law firms.
This is an absolute honor to sign. What they've done is just terrible.
Oh my
So
God,
weaponization,
awful guys, really.
You could say weaponization
When you
against
look
a
at
political opponent, and it should never be allowed to happen again.
He's really, he does everything he can to try and convince people that he's the savior, and it's just laughable. Can we get some FDTs in the frickin' chat and try and complete the gifting goal? Let's go.
And you're looking at about 15 different firms?
That or more, sir, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. One of the tools the left has consistently used to frustrate good government policies has been the use of injunctions and temporary restraining orders. Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 65C allows for essentially a demand for an injunction bond for folks who are seeking temporary restraining orders and injunctions to post a bond before they're allowed to proceed in court. This presidential memorandum would order the Department.
Wait, what?
Department of Justice, its litigating components, to seek those injunction bonds whenever someone tries to challenge our policies in court, so that when they end up losing in court, and we believe that they will end up losing in court, that they can be held financially responsible for the disruption to federal activities that their actions have caused.
Right. Something they've wanted to do a long time, right?
I just have a quick question. Are we going to do this all 4 fucking years? Are we going to do this all 4 years? It's so beautiful. Look at that. Look at my signature. Unbelievable signature when you really look at it. Unbelievable. So big, so strong, so bigly. I call it bigly. Josette, thank you so much for the $1.99 to super chat. Appreciate you, Josette.
They've been looking to do this for years.
Yes, sir.
And what?
Unbelievable.
This is a rule that's been on the books for a very long time. The Department of Justice has been very inconsistent in seeking these bonds.
You guys know I went back and listened to my Trump impression from like the other day, and I was like, God damn, that my Trump impression's getting good. It's getting scary good. Tara, thank you so much for the $9.99. Says it's the Gulf of America in the background, FDT. It really is. The weirdest thing that we continue to do these ceremonies to sign executive orders. It's fucking weird, dude. We gonna do this for 4 years?
From a legal standpoint, really a very big thing.
Thank you, sir. In order to protect American car manufacturers and American farmers, we have two modifications to the IEEPA tariffs that have already been announced against Canada and Mexico. This first order relates to Canada. Essentially, what it will allow for is the flow of parts.
I know, I have to get my Elon impression down, though. My Elon impression is lacking slightly. Got to do a little better with the Elon, you know, because I haven't practiced it much. That's why. So this guy walks up. I'm convinced Donald Trump doesn't even know what he's signing. Am I crazy to believe that? I am convinced that they just tell this guy comes up. He reads him what's the executive order. Trump looks at him like he's disassociating and then signs it. Hello, Donald. So what we're going to be signing here is an executive order to make sure that we make armpit hair illegal. Like, it does whatever. And he's like, it sounds like a good idea. Unbelievable. Like, he likes whatever it is, he goes along with it. You know, you could tell him, you know, we're going to be making it mandatory that everybody says they love your hair when they meet you. That sounds like a good idea. Like, he would just go along with it.
Products into America to allow America.
Like, why would you have to, it seems like he's telling Trump what the executive order is and not the American people.
American car manufacturers to continue building cars. It basically excludes USMCA eligible.
Like if a little bubble was over his head, sounds good to me. He doesn't really even know.
Goods from existing tariffs.
The sad part is, who are the big bad people behind this movement actually getting him to sign these executive orders, actually pushing this agenda? The people behind Project 2025, Heritage Foundation, that's who it is.
And also, in order to help our farmers at this crucial time of year, we're going to be reducing the tariff imposed on Canadian potash from 25% to 10%. So this is a modification to our tariff regime to protect American car manufacturers and American farmers.
It basically makes it more fair for our car manufacturers.
For the people asking who the 10 Democrats were, I don't want to keep repeating it. Just go to my Substack, and I posted it in my Substack, okay? So just go to my Substack and you will see it there. T-Boo, thank you so. T-Boo with the $9.99 super chat. Let's go. FDT, let's go, baby.
During the short-term period before April 2nd. April 2nd is a little bit different. That will be much more significant. But during this interim period between now and April 2nd, this makes it much more favorable for our American car manufacturers.
Get a final expert review before you file at
Harder lately. Do you notice that on drugs? We had a very good conversation. Also, we discussed drugs, and they were working much harder lately. Do you notice that on people coming in and drugs? And we've made tremendous progress on both.
Really? How are you measuring that? How are you measuring that we've made tremendous progress on people illegally importing narcotics? How are you measuring that? Bet he couldn't answer that question.
President Trump,
Not a key.
what's your thought about why the markets are so spooked? Do you think they don't like the tariffs, or do they not like the uncertainty with some of the changes and the carve-outs?
Well, a lot of them are globalist countries and companies that won't be doing as well because we're taking back things that have been taken from us many years ago. We've been treated very unfairly as a country. We protect everybody. We do everything for all these countries. And a lot of these are globalist in nature. You know, they have, if you're outside of the United States, you know, it's going to be a little bit different. We just weren't treated right. We were ripped off as a country. I've been saying it for a long time. And I did it to a certain extent in the first administration, but with COVID coming in, we had to focus on that toward the end. But we had the greatest economy in history in the first administration, and I think we'll do even better now. But this is something that we have to do. There'll always be a little short-term interruption. I don't think it's going to be big, but the countries and companies that have been ripping us aren't particularly happy with what I'm doing. But the United States will be very happy. And, you know, our farmers are going to be very happy. And again, there'll be disruption. But in the end, I said it before with China, we signed an unbelievable deal with China, $50 billion in purchases, and we're doing great. Biden, however, when he came in, they never enforced that deal. So that's the only thing that basically you have globalist companies that have been ripping us off that won't be able to rip us off any longer. I think that's what the big charge is.
Have you been influenced, some of these exemptions that have been announced and some of these temporary delays, have you been influenced in those decisions because of the market reaction?
Well, there are no delays at all. No, nothing to do with the market. I'm not even looking at the market because long term, the United States will be very strong with what's happening here. Now, these are countries and companies, foreign companies, that have been ripping us off, and no president did anything about it until I came along, and then I did a lot about it. You know, we took in tariffs from China $600 billion. Nobody else took in 10 cents from China. They never did. But when COVID came along, we had to focus on COVID. We did a great job. We got rid of that. We ended up handing...
What? You got rid of COVID? Really? I mean, this guy just lies non-stop. Non-stop.
Over with a market that was higher than it was previous to COVID coming in. But this is very much about companies and countries that have ripped off this country, our beloved USA, and they're not going to be ripping us off anymore. So, you know, I think that has an impact on the market.
Mr. President. Sir, this is a slate of nominees that's been prepared by the Presidential Personnel Office. It includes a number of sub-cabinet level appointments, a number of your ambassadors that have been previously announced, and also, crucially, given the administration's concerted effort to focus on violent crime, it includes a number of U.S. attorneys in major cities that have real crime problems.
Okay. Some very good people, too.
Thank you, sir. And then we have a number of ceremonial proclamations that Lindsay Halligan is going to...
So two very special proclamations, the first of which is a proclamation that proclaims March 2025 as Women's History Month in honor of all...
Oh, wait, by the way, I just want to say this big shout out to everybody on Substack. We're about to hit 5,000 subscribers on Substack. 5,000 subscribers, which is for a month and a half we've been on the platform. I'm sorry, we just hit it. 5,000 subscribers. I really wish we had more paid subscribers because that's how I'm able to put the time and effort into it. But I just want to say shout out to everybody who subscribed on Substack because we just hit 5,000 in a month and a half. So that's pretty fucking impressive. Thank you, everyone.
The wonderful women in your administration, all the wonderful women in America, and in honor of everything you've done for women and this administration has done for women in just, a month and a half? So
Yeah,
he's done so much for women.
And women have done a lot for us, right?
He loves women. Oh, God, this is just, I don't know, women, do you feel loved by Donald Trump? Can someone explain to me why Donald Trump is... I don't understand. There already is a Women's History Month. What does this do exactly? I'm so confused. Let's listen again.
Honor of all the wonderful special proclamations, the first of which is a proclamation that proclaims March 2025 as Women's History Month in honor of all the wonderful women in your administration.
Isn't it already Women's History Month? I'm sorry, am I confused here? I thought it was already Women's History Month. What the fuck?
Administration, all the wonderful women in America.
I don't understand. Are we just like deciding that he's going to be the one that creates Women's History Month? So he's like, it already says Women's History Month, and he's going in there with his big red crayon and going, by Trump. Trump created that. Look at it. Unbelievable. This is already a thing. What the fuck?
America.
This is, I mean, this is weird. He's just putting his name on this now. He's putting his name on shit that already exists. What the fuck?
And in honor of everything you've done for women, and this administration has done for women in just, what, a month and a half? So.
Yeah, we've done a lot. And women
and so much
have
for
done
women.
A lot for us, right? This is an honor. We have a wonderful...
They've done a lot for us. Yeah, white women did a lot for you.
woman
they
here,
voted for
Maria
you.
Bartiromo.
Thank you so much.
Nice to have you, Maria.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thanks for all that you're doing for women.
Thank you. She's going to do an interview of me later. Maybe I shouldn't do this interview. I should be like Biden, not doing the interviews.
Yeah, well, listen, I'd rather you not do them, to be honest, because these little creepy late-night sessions in the Oval Office, I mean, they weird me out. I don't know. Alicia, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says he's so full of it, he needs to take credit for everything. He's a fucking narcissist. Like, he invented Women's History Month? What a fucking weirdo, dude. And how come nobody's calling it out? Like, wait a second, isn't it already Women's History Month? By Trump in red crayon is hilarious. Hell yeah. That's what it is. It's equivalent to that. Trump went in to the history books and just took a big red crayon and wrote, by Trump did that. Yes, he did. Unbelievable. What a great guy. Isn't that you, though? You can't call yourself, like, you can't compliment yourself. Oh, yes, I can, because a lot of people are saying it. This is such...
That's great.
This is such a massive ego stroke to him. Like, sitting in the Oval Office, signing executive orders, it is such a massive ego stroke. I don't care if it was Biden doing this. I'd be criticizing it. I don't care what president did this. I'd be like, disgusting.
I love you.
We love you too, sir.
Thank you.
I know, the fact that he said, like, women in here must be pissed right now, dude. He literally looked in your face and said, you've done so much for me and I've done so much for you. Dead with the $4.99, thanks for taking women's rights away from us. Exactly. Unfucking believable. Your impression is getting too good. I know, it really is. Some days better than others.
Excellent.
So the second one is a proclamation proclaiming March 2025 as Irish American Heritage Month in honor of, well, to commemorate our amazing friendship between America and Ireland.
Does this need to be on TV, folks? Unbelievable. Wait, what is it called? Hold on. This is just... I'm pretty sure this is already a thing, too. Like St. Patrick's Day. I
love you too, sir.
This is too funny, dude. Okay. Look.
Excellent.
So the second one is a proclamation proclaiming March 2025.
This next one is a proclamation proclaiming our relationship to honor
as Irish American Heritage Month.
A proclamation to proclaim. This is so stupid.
In honor of, well, to commemorate.
In honor of, to commemorate.
Our amazing friendship between America and Ireland.
They literally hate you.
And to just honor all of the Irish Americans, and I'm...
You know, they don't even know what it's for. It's a proclamation proclaiming that we love Ireland and they love us too. Like, what? This is on TV?
A little bit biased because I'm American and Irish, but...
You're a little bit biased because you're American and Irish. Lady, you were born in... Just because you're born in Boston doesn't make you Irish, okay? I'm a little bit biased because I was born in downtown Boston. Oh, God. This is pathetic.
Well, great people.
They hate you.
Great people.
They can't stand you, Donald.
And they voted for me in heavy numbers, so I like them even more. You have to like it. You know, you're not supposed to, but you have to like that.
Now I'll sign it with my big crayon, and it'll be a thing. They call it a proclamation proclaiming. That's what they're calling it.
So for the Irish American people, proclamation.
These people are so dumb. These people are so dumb they don't even know why it's fucking funny.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Mr. President, your envoy Steve Witkoff told us a little while ago that if Hamas does not release hostages, that the U.S. and Israel could take some action. What does that mean in your eyes? Is that military action? Would you join strikes?
Guys, just a little bit of some proclamations proclaiming, and now a dash of threatening. There's always a little dash of threats in these Oval Office meetings. We'll bomb the shit out of them. And then he'll go back to signing again. Yes, sir, this is we're going to now make March Burrito Month because we know you love burritos, so we decided to call it Burrito Month. It's a proclamation proclaiming.
What are you going to find out? I had the honor of spending a lot of time yesterday with quite a few of the people that we got out, and I can't believe how badly treated they were, really badly treated. Stories that you wouldn't even believe.
They're literally running out of things to sign, so they're just making shit up. Just tell them I made up Women's History Month and give me a piece of paper and I'll sign it with my big stupid marker.
Some of it was documented. Some of it was so bad you couldn't really, I don't think you can put it on. And it's a shame. And they said one thing, they have 59 hostages.
Free Big Mac Day. Everyone gets a free Big Mac. Unbelievable. Alicia, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says April 10th is National Orange Makeup Day. He'll sign it. He'll sign it. As long as he can sit in front of the American people with that stupid marker, he'll sign it.
Hostages, of which many of them are killed. They want to know if we could...
If you guys didn't see the really threatening thing he said the other day, of course he was talking about Hamas, but it's just not like the way a president speaks. But decorum, everybody, respect the office.
Just continue. They said without us, look, Biden wasn't able to get anybody out. We came along and they started releasing. But we have 59 left, of which 24 are living. The rest are dead. And I put out a statement.
Well, dead would be the opposite of living.
It's sort of self-explanatory, I think. But somebody's going to have to get a lot rougher than they're getting. It's a shame. And those 24 that are living, because they were with them just 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, depending on when they got out. But they said they're in very bad shape.
You spoke today with your cabinet members and Elon Musk.
I did.
What did you tell?
This is just too freaking funny. Chrissy, thanks so much for the $4.99 super chat. Said Ireland Prime Minister refused to see Trump. That's what I don't get. Like, they literally hate him. Is that like some kind of like deal they made or something? We want an entire month, not just St. Patrick's Day. Give us the entire month. We're now making Christmas 1 month long, everyone.
Tell them in regards to Elon Musk and his authorities to carry out actions.
We had a great meeting.
Guys, we only have 10 or so minutes left on the gifting goal. Would appreciate trying to complete it in the last 10
some
minutes.
of the representatives for the business reps. We also had most of the cabinet members, not all of them. It doesn't really pertain to all of them, but many of them. And I thought it was a really good meeting. It was about cutting because everybody knows the country's way out of control. in terms of the number of people. We have many people that don't work. We have many people probably that aren't even living that are getting checks. And we're finding all of that out, and it's being reported. We're going to save hundreds of billions of dollars. We've
still making the same claim, no proof.
Already saved a lot. And parts of it are contracts that are expired that we're paying on.
Oh, shut up. I'm going to skip through till we get to something better. I'm not going to listen to him ramble about shit that he can't provide evidence on.
Better if they were there for 2 years instead of a few days ago. He's going to be spending $200 billion on building plants. We're not giving him any money to build it either. You know, it's not, that CHIP Act is ridiculous.
Tara, this is, by the way, I want to talk about the CHIPS Act really quick, but let me say this. Tara, thank you for the $4.99. It's been Women's History Month since 1987. I don't understand that one, Tara. I do not for a second understand that. By the way, big shout out to Heidi again for that Venmo earlier. I just wanted to say, I think I already thanked you, but I just wanted to say thank you one more time for sending that that Venmo, Heidi. So, thank you so much. And Victoria, thank you for the $4.81 on Venmo. I appreciate you, Victoria. I really do. Let me talk about something really quick. Do you guys remember before the election that I said Mike Johnson spoke and said that they were talking about getting rid of the CHIPS Act, and then he claimed that he misspoke and that they had no intentions on getting rid of the CHIPS Act? Does anyone remember that? Anyone remember that? And it was a whole big thing. And Democrats didn't take advantage of it. Does anyone remember it? I went off that day. I was pissed because I was like, why aren't Democrats using that? There should be commercials right now. They're talking about repealing the CHIPS Act, which, by the way, has provided millions of jobs. One of the most important pieces of legislation in American history. If you don't know, these microchips are primarily produced in Taiwan, okay? And that was money for research and development of these microchips that are in essentially everything, right? Your kids' toys, your kitchen equipment, your computers, your cell phones, your cars. And they're not even manufactured in the United States. They're designed to some degree in the United States, but they're not manufactured here. So this CHIPS Act was money for so we can start developing these chips in the United States. Really, really important piece of legislation. Was passed under the Biden administration. In fact, Trump wanted to pass it. Trump couldn't get it done. Could not get it done. So, anyways, besides the point, we've known this for some time. COVID kind of alerted people more to the seriousness of what would happen. Say China invaded Taiwan, and this Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, okay, TSMC or whatever it's called, we would have no access to these microchips. So it's very, very serious. And then we could also be less worried about an invasion of Taiwan. But let me go beyond that. Mike Johnson, about a few weeks before the election, accidentally said, and we plan repealing the CHIPS Act is a part of our agenda. And people went fucking crazy because it was massive, along with obviously the affordable, the ACA. Right? Because everyone was talking about repealing the ACA, which they would deny too at that time, but fully would not admit to repealing the CHIPS Act. And I screamed, I told Democrats, you need to take advantage of this. Do commercials. This is huge. This would have been a big deal. If you messaged it the right way, you could have got people to vote for you just based off the fact that they were repealing these important pieces of legislation. Now, Mike Johnson smiled at the camera yesterday talking about repealing the CHIPS Act. Trump openly said it during the State of the Union, repealing the CHIPS Act. This is what I mean by missed opportunities during that campaign and why we need people more in touch. Do you see what I'm just pointing this out for people so you understand strategically why we lost this election? This is an example. Missed opportunities.
Ridiculous where the Biden thing where they give billions of dollars to people that have nothing but money. They're not going to spend that money. They're just taking that money.
This is not true.
Giving nothing. They're coming in because of the tariffs, because they don't want to pay the tariffs. And they're opening up big. So, but with respect to people, I said, I want to cut the people, but I want to keep the good people.
Mr. President,
tariffs, sir? Can you walk us through the next steps on this? Steel and aluminum tariffs are due to kick in next week on Canada, Mexico, and every other country. Are those going to be modified as well?
No, those aren't modified. Those are happening.
This guy's plan is not for the CHIPS Act. This guy's plan is just to, have tariffs and then retaliatory tariffs and then reciprocal tariffs and go to trade wars, have trade wars with these other countries.
Next week, and the big one will be on April 2nd when reciprocal tariffs. So,
boom. Told you. This guy's already talking about reciprocal tariffs. If you guys don't know, essentially when a country tariffs another country, that's tariff, right? And then when a country retaliates, that's a retaliatory tariff. And then you have reciprocal tariffs. You see, it's just a trade. It's, in simple terms, a trade war.
if India or China or any of the countries that really, India is a very high tariff nation. I'll tell you what's a high tariff nation is Canada.
Tariffs are just another example of Donald Trump's short-term thinking, because tariffs can be beneficial short-term. Long-term, they end up hurting the country.
Canada charges us,
but he doesn't care about the long-term health of the United States.
250% for our milk product and other product.
I think we have 5 minutes left on the goal. If you guys want to spam the goal really quick, we need 15 more super chats.
And a tremendous tariff on lumber and things as such. And yet we don't need their lumber. We have more lumber than they do. We don't need Canada's lumber. So what I'm doing is I'll be signing.
Because tariffs can have some short-term benefits, but Trump doesn't care about like the health of the country, long-term health of the country.
An executive order freeing up our forests so that we're allowed to.
We just moved into our new home.
Oh God, fucking wish I could. I gotta figure out how to eliminate these on OBS.
Take down trees and make a lot of money and then reharvest trees. Also, we're cutting fire divides. A fire divide is a 50-yard to 70-yard swath where the trees can't, it's long enough so trees don't burn forever until you can get them out. And those trees can be sold and made a lot of money with. So, but we'll be doing that. We don't need trees from Canada. We don't need cars from Canada. We don't need energy from Canada. We don't need anything from Canada. So where we can be self-sustaining, which is in most things. Look, we have more oil and gas than anybody. Our forests are massive, massive forests. We're just not allowed to use them because of the environmental lunatics that stopped us. So I'm going to be freeing that up very shortly so that we don't have to go to other countries to buy lumber. Why should we be buying lumber from other countries, paying tariffs, paying big prices, extraordinary prices?
We talk about taking back Mexican tariffs, and he didn't take them back. It's a delay, essentially. 50% on imports. Dan Halen, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Chrissy, Starry Eyes, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate the people trying to complete the gifting goal really quick. Ashley with the $5 super chat says for the goal. Barb with the $4.99. Damn, we're down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and we only need 11 more. 11.
And we have lumber. We have the best lumber. Go ahead.
Marie, we have the best lumber. Some of the... He just said we have the best lumber. Oh my fucking God. First of all, it's not true, but it's also laughable how everything is the best. Marie, thank you for the $5 FDT, orange and a clown emoji. I agree without you saying much, Marie. Thank you so much, Marie. Hunter says he's going to destroy all of our national parks. That's all the land he's saying he's going to mine and cut down. Someone help us. Yeah, he doesn't care about the environment whatsoever. Never has, never will. Again, short-term thinker. Emily's Blunt, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. We only need 9 more super chats.
And this USMCA exemption that you're essentially announcing today for this 1 month?
It's just a modification, short-term, because I didn't want to hurt the American. It would have hurt the American car companies if I did that.
Would you consider the same sort of exemption?
Oh, MAGA doesn't care about the price of eggs anymore. that whole thing, they don't care about that shit anymore. We wasted so much time arguing with these people about the price of goods, and they don't care anymore. They're perfectly fine with paying double for everything. Butter, eggs, it doesn't matter. They're paying more. Alicia with the $5 super chat. Alicia in the building again tonight, going hard. Dan Halen, thank you for the $4.99, Dan. Appreciate you, buddy. Amitude, Amanda, FDT, thank you for the $5 super chat. Jin, $5 super chat. FDT with a redwood tree. Ouch. That hurts. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate you, Jen. Carly Martinez, thank you for the $4.99. FDT, could not agree more. Could not agree more. Jen Costello with the $4.99 super chats. Just keep doing impressions. I do them a lot during my content. I do them. I'm actually trying to work on the Elon one. So that'll be coming soon. I'm trying to get better at the Elon one. I watched it during a replay and I was like, I can do better on that one. Emily's Blunt, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate it. We have a minute left. We have a minute left and we need 3 super chats.
No, we're not.
We have a minute left and we need 3 super chats to finish the goal. Let's not lose the goal after all of that work.
No. TPS for the Ukrainians who live here in the U.S.
What about it?
Are you considering revoking the TPS status for the more than 200,000 Ukrainians who live here in the U.S.?
Oh, so this is the other thing I forgot to talk about, guys. 30 seconds left. I really don't want to miss that goal. We were so close, damn it. So if you guys don't know, Trump is revoking the temporary legal status of Ukrainians who fled Ukraine, who fled the war in Ukraine, because it's literally their kids are dying, their families dying. They fled the war in Ukraine and they took it away. I'm going to talk about the Ukraine stuff. Let me just thank the people that completed the goal here. Steph, 1326. Thank you so much, Steph. Dan Halen. Appreciate you, Dan. Appreciate you, Dan. Josette, thank you so much for the $1.99. Hunter, coming through. Thank you so much, Hunter. Laura Shockley, thank you so much. FDT. Kelly, thank you for the $1.99. And Tara, thank you for the $1.99. Amanda with the $5 super chat. JP Haynes with the $5 super chat. Let's go. You guys completed the goal. Thank you so much, everybody, for completing the goal. I really appreciate you. It helps. Obviously, I appreciate it a lot because this is what I do, right? I try and bring you political content every day, and I appreciate the support. That's how I'm able to do this. So thank you so much. So let's get into this really quick and talk about how screwed up this is. Okay? So Donald Trump is essentially revoking the legal status of Ukrainian temporary citizens in the United States. Sorry, guys, I got to respond to this really quick. Okay. So what Donald Trump essentially is doing, right, is, and again, there's going to be some back and forth here, but he has essentially decided that under Biden allowed people that lived in Ukraine that were fleeing wartime to come to the United States. Trump is taking away their temporary status. If that's not evil, I don't know what is. If that's not evil, I don't know what is. Taking away their temporary legal status. It is nearly 250,000 Ukrainians that fled. So now, although it's not final, this is what he says he's doing. And that this could happen as early as next month. These are humanitarian parole programs for people fleeing a war where ethnic cleansing is happening. Again, he says no final decision, but ethnic cleansing. They're bombing daycares, hospitals, schools. Imagine your child's school being hit with a bomb. So you flee the country because the president says, we'll take you, you're fleeing wartime. And our president says, no, you're going back. It's not our duty to support you. Now, again, I'm highlighting that no final decision has been made, but that Trump is saying the revoking could happen as early as next month. So if you wonder, for all the people who say two wings of the same bird, for the people who say Democrats and Republicans are the same, this is an example of how different their policies are. because the Biden administration extended this protected status for Ukrainians until October of 2026 because of what's going on over there. Trump could deport them as soon as next month. Don't ever tell me they're two wings of the same bird. Don't ever tell me they're the same. That points to how ignorant people who say that actually are.
What are you saying?
The Ukrainians that are here in the US, they're under a TPS status.
So this is it. This is him talking about it.
More than 200,000 Ukrainians who live here in the US.
What are you saying?
The Ukrainians that are here in the US, they're under a TPS status.
On GPS?
TPS,
temporary protected status. Under a GPS, he just said. This is how dumb this guy is. Listen to this.
Oh, I thought you said... What are you saying?
The Ukrainians that are here in the US, they're under a TPS status.
On GPS?
Oh, my God. This is the President of the United States. God help us all. Seriously.
GPS,
temporary. Oh, I thought you said GPS.
TPS.
Yeah.
There was some news saying that they were going to be revoked and they were going to be deported from the country. Are you considering that for the
Well, we're not looking...
No, this isn't even a hearing thing. He heard him. He doesn't know what TPS is. TPS means temporary protected status. Under the Biden administration, they essentially created these humanitarian parole programs that were intended to help people fleeing wartime in Ukraine. He doesn't know anything about this stuff. He has zero clue what he's talking about.
Looking to hurt anybody, we're certainly not looking to hurt them. And I'm looking at that. And
you are hurting them. If you send them back to Ukraine, you're sending them to die. If you send these people back to Ukraine right now, you might as well just do it yourself.
There were some people that think that's appropriate and some people don't, and I'll be making a decision pretty soon. Okay?
President Trump said,
but we're not...
I want to know what people think it's appropriate to send them back. I want to know who is advising you that it's appropriate to send people back to Ukraine. Please tell me their names. I really want to know who they are so I can call them. I don't care. Tell me who it is.
President Trump,
especially Ukrainians. They've gone through a lot. Yeah, Peter?
I really hope, and this is a stretch, I really, really hope Trump doesn't do that. I mean, that is nothing short of evil.
the clocks are going to spring forward on Sunday. When are you going to
He's just so... He wants to... Every Biden era policy he wants reversed. Good, bad, or indifferent. If it happened under Biden, he wants it reversed.
Get rid of daylight savings time.
Okay, are you ready? So, this should be the easiest one of all, but it's a 50-50 issue. And if something's a 50-50 issue, it's hard to get excited about it. I assume people would like to have more light later, but some people want to have more light earlier because they don't want to take their kids to school in the dark. And it's very much, it's a little bit one way, but it's very much a 50-50 issue.
This is such a this is just not important. I'm sorry.
It's something I can do, but a lot of people like it one way, a lot of people like it the other way. It's very even. And usually I find when that's the case, what else do we have to do?
And I got to ask, because you were talking about this in your joint address, you were talking about Butler. It's been 7 months. Why do you think we don't know more about the guy who shot you in the...
So this reporter is asking him about the assassination attempt again. Here we go.
Yeah, oh, well, and
why do you think we don't know more about the guy who shot you in the ear?
Yeah, oh, well, and the second one with all of his cell phones. So I want to find the answers. I've told them. In fact, today I said, I want to find, we can no longer blame Biden for that one. He should have released that a long time ago. So they are giving me a report next week sometime, and I do believe I'll be releasing. I want to release the report. A lot of people have asked that question. You had one.
City Gaming gifting 10 Adam Cray memberships to people. A bunch of people just got gifted memberships. Make sure you thank City Gaming. Sheila, you were gifted. You were gifted a membership. Austin Payne, you were gifted a membership. Shabazite, you were gifted a membership. Logan Hall, you were gifted a membership. Logan Sean Radford, you were gifted a membership. Ed, You were gifted a membership as well. So look here. Make sure you thank Charcity, Unfriendly Atheist, Lori, Selena. Big W, Charcity Gaming.
One who had 3 apps, 2 of which were foreign, supposedly.
Wait, I want to hear this. So this is what the guy had on his phone, you mean? The guy who tried to unalive him?
They are giving me a report next week sometime, and I do believe I'll be releasing. I want to release the report. A lot of people have asked that question. You had one who had 3 apps, 2 of which were foreign, supposedly, and who has the biggest white shoe law firm in Pennsylvania, even though they don't live in necessarily a white shoe area. What's that all about? His law, the law firm. The other one had 7 or 6 cell phones, and I don't have 6 cell phones. And why would somebody have 6 cell phones? So we're going to be releasing a report on that soon, Peter.
But based on what you're saying right there, the lack of information and the data points that you just gave, does that make you think that there's some part of that there's some bigger?
It could be. Well, it makes other people think that. It makes me think it a little bit too. I say, when you have 3 apps and 2 of them are foreign, and you had an FBI that wouldn't report on it, they didn't want to say why, I would say that could be suspicious. And then on the second assassin, you had, and by the way, I have to tell you, Secret Service did a great job on that by spotting him. But on the second one, he had 6 cell phones. That's a lot of cell phones. And a couple of them had some strange markings on them. So, yeah, I want to find out, and I would be willing to release it. I mean, maybe...
You definitely need to release it. What do you mean? This is the problem then, and what frustrates me is if they find nothing, they just won't say anything. No, if you find nothing, you need to release it, just like if you found something.
There's a reason that we shouldn't, so I don't want to get too far ahead of my skis, but yeah, I would be very willing to release that. I'd like to see it. I want to see it myself, Peter. Not only you, I want to see that one myself.
Mr. President, may I?
Yes.
President Macron yesterday said that France was ready to offer its nuclear protection to other European countries. What do you make of it? And in this case, would the U.S. also maintain a nuclear umbrella for European countries?
Well, France is also willing to put soldiers into Ukraine for safety reasons if we can get it. I will say that we've made a lot of progress with Ukraine and a lot of progress with Russia over the last couple of days. And it'd be great to bring that to an end so we don't have to talk that way about nuclear. It'd be great if everybody would get rid of their nuclear weapons. We have Russia.
Oh, yeah. You know who did get rid of their nuclear weapons? Ukraine. You know what happened? They got invaded.
And us have by far the most. China will have an equal amount within 4 or 5 years. And it would be great if we could all denuclearize, because the power of nuclear weapons is crazy.
So talk to Putin about it. Don't talk. Oh my God. And meanwhile, you're punishing Ukraine. You're calling Zelensky a dictator. The guys that did relinquish their power. The guys that did surrender their nuclear stockpile under the Budapest Agreement.
Is crazy. And, I was very far along a process with Russia, despite the Russia hoax, which didn't make it easy. It was a total hoax.
Did you guys see when he literally said the other day that him and, I think it was when he was in the White House. Yeah, it was the meeting with Zelensky. And he literally said, me and Putin went through the Russian hoax together. Like as if they went through hard times together. He was like, remember, we went through that together. Whoa. And nobody really pointed that out as like a significant thing that he said.
A total rigged hoax by some bad people. But despite that, I was very close to having a program with Russia, denuclearization, and we were going to get China. I spoke to President Xi about it, and he would have been very happy to have gone along with it. But bad things happened, like an election that was rigged happened. And so we had to come back 4 years later. But I would very much like to start those talks. The opposite of what you say, the denuclearization would be incredible.
Mr. President, on the auto tariffs that you were talking about, I know yesterday you spoke with the big 3. Did you tell them that no more exemptions were on the way, and what was the reaction?
I told them, that's it. this was a short-term deal. And they came back to me yesterday. They said, could we have some help on the tariffs because of the speed? And I said, look, I'm going to do it, but that's it. Don't come back to me after the April 2nd. I don't want to hear from you after April 2nd. We're not going to be doing it anymore. I want to help them.
What was their response?
They didn't complain, but I helped them short-term during this short-term transition. April 2nd is going to be a very big day for America.
Mr. President, my understanding is that the longstanding U.S. policy is that we do not negotiate with terrorists. So how did you come to the decision to send somebody from your team to negotiate with Hamas?
We are having discussions with Hamas. We are helping Israel in those discussions because we're talking about Israeli hostages. And we're not doing anything in terms of Hamas. We're not giving cash. We're not giving $6 billion like you hear other administrations give. In fact, I got 59 hostages out, and we gave nothing. In 59, we gave nothing, not including what's going on with Hamas. I mean, I consider that something where we're helping Israel for the most part. We had a couple of hostages, as you know.
Are you hungry?
Disturbing. The press does such a poor job of pressuring him with the right questions, though. You know what I mean? I gotta know, are they just not letting opposition, like any media willing to pressure him or ask these questions, are they just not letting them in the Oval Office? Because since we've started these things, there's just been no difficult questions. You know, and I asked that because we saw Russian state media was allowed in the Oval Office during the Zelensky meeting. And we know that... I forget what was the media agency that was restricted because they refused to call it Gulf of America, and they were told they're not allowed in the Oval Office for these meetings?
Mr. President, I consider that something where we're helping Israel for the most part. We had a couple of hostages, as you know. We got a couple of hostages out, American hostages.
Mr. President.
But certainly, Peter, you have to negotiate. There's a difference between negotiating and paying.
AP. Okay. Have they been let back in? Does anyone know? Are they permanently... Because I don't feel that any difficult questions are asked. And so I want to evaluate whether that's the press just bending the knee, which is likely too, or they're just not in there at all. Because we're not getting a list of who's in there.
We want to get these people out. If you would have seen the people yesterday, maybe you did, I don't know. But if you would have seen them, the way they spoke about their captivity, it was unbelievable. It's terrible.
Are you thinking about making any changes to NATO where a NATO country gets attacked, but they're not paying enough dues, so the United States doesn't defend them?
Well, I've said that to them. I said, if you're not going to pay, we're not going to defend. I said that 7 years ago. And because of that, they paid hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, if you're not going to pay your bills, we're not going to defend you. And
so they're permanently banned, right? Holy cow. This is... So then we can conclude that other agencies are not, other media outlets are not allowed in there, right? I guess I just haven't fact-checked this. I don't know. So these other media outlets are just not able to ask the questions, right? And that's why we're getting such softball questions here.
It also went for the attack. But if they got attacked, they said, well, does that mean you won't defend us? I said, are you current or are you delinquent? They said, if we were delinquent, would you? I said, nope, I would not. And because of that, as you know, hundreds of billions of dollars came into NATO. You wouldn't have NATO right now if I weren't there. And your previous...
What?
Secretary...
Wouldn't have NATO if you weren't there? What are you talking about?
General has said that.
Oh, that's absolutely some Hitler shit, yep.
He said he's never seen anything like it. When I came to NATO, when I first had my first meeting, I noticed that people weren't paying their bills at all. And I said I should wait till my second meeting, and I did. And I brought that up. And I said, if you don't pay your bills, we're not going to participate. We're not going to protect you. And when I said that, as soon as I said that, it was amazing how the money came in. The money came in, and now they have money. But even now, it's not enough. It's really not enough. They should be paying more.
Mr. President, question on the investment, sir.
Mr. President? Like, it's just an ass-kissing fest.
You've overseen about $2 trillion worth of domestic private sector investments come in just about 2 months. This is the newest one. It comes after your announcement of a new shipbuilding office.
Hey, quick, we got to get a little food thing in on this, right? We got to get a little food conversation going. Has anyone tried those Guy Fieri frozen dinners? Now listen, one of my guilty pleasures is diners, drive-ins, and dives. I love that show. It makes me hungry. I like it. I watch it. I make something eat. I eat it. Sometimes I watch it with my son. We just like it. It's just a good show. There was actually a place that was somewhat local to me that was featured on that show, and I went to it with my son. Have you guys ever seen that show? Well, he makes frozen dinners, I guess. And I was wondering if anyone has ever tried them, because I got one of them. What? What? Is that, should I not have done that?
At the White House during your joint session to Congress. Can you talk about why this is important, not only for national security, but...
Oh, well, excuse the fuck out of me, chat. Everyone's just like, no, not even elaborating. Everyone's just like fucking feeling sorry for me now. Excuse the fuck out of me.
To continue the renaissance of domestic manufacturing?
Well, we have to maintain a strong country. We have to maintain, we want to pay off debt. We have a lot of debt, but that'll start coming off quickly when this all comes around. Look, we've been supporting the whole world. You mentioned NATO and you mentioned other things. We've been supporting the whole world. When I first came in, we were paying almost 100% of NATO. NATO it was crazy. We were supporting NATO. We were paying the bills for other countries. And yet those same countries, mostly European, the European countries were ripping us off in trade. They won't take our cars. They wouldn't take our agricultural product. They wouldn't take anything. Yet we were taking their cars by the millions, Mercedes and BMW and Volkswagen, all of them. We were taking their cars. They weren't taking it. We were taking their farm products. They weren't taking ours. It's a total ripoff. And yet we were protecting them by giving them the money. And, that adds up to a bad number at the end of a lot of years. And that's what happened.
Today, at America's beverage companies,
our bottles might still look the same,
but they can be remade in a whole new way. We're getting bottles back.
And we've developed a way to make new.
Unbelievable. Guys, it's like one of those things, everyone just looked at me with this, face of disgust when I asked that question. I mean, just a face of absolute disgust. I could feel it through the frickin' live. So excuse me for getting a frozen dinner. Some of us don't cook like that, okay?
This country to stop being ripped off. I had that done very much in the first administration, but then we had to focus on other things at the very end with COVID. But we had the greatest economy in history. I think we're going to redo it here, but even better. And I wanted to do what we're doing now in the first term, but we had so many other things to do. We had to fix the border, which we did. We had to fix our military. We rebuilt our military. We completely rebuilt the military, only to watch Biden give so much of it away to Afghanistan, if you can believe it. It's not even believable. It's not even believable what he did. The damage that man did or that administration did to this country is frankly not even believable. And in particular, allowing millions and millions of people to come into our country. Many of them were murderers and drug dealers and gang members and people from prison for very heinous crimes. For him to allow those people into our country, and now we're spending...
Isn't that dude racist? Who? No, that's Dog the Bounty Hunter. They look similar.
tremendous amounts of time and effort. Nikki and Tom Homan, who's doing an unbelievable job, but we shouldn't have to be spending anything on that. We had the safest border ever. Now we have actually, as you saw, the numbers just came out, where we have actually the lowest numbers in the history.
Wow, I did really not expect to be like this criticized for eating a frozen meal. Muppets, let me tell you something right now. All right? Some of us like frozen meals once in a blue moon. All right? It's a frozen meal. It's not that big of a deal. All right? I just figured I'd ask the question. Did not think you guys would take it that fucking serious. It's a frozen dinner from Walmart. Got it? That's it. A frozen dinner from Walmart. Sorry. I can't buy filet mignon. Muppets?
Of our country, but we shouldn't have had to do that. What we're doing now is we're looking for murderers. Can you believe it? We're looking for murderers because thousands of murderers, some about 50% killed more than one person. One killed 5 or 7. And we're looking for those people right now. We shouldn't have to be looking for
President Trump, on Peter's question, are you going to make that policy, U.S. policy, that...
Yeah, we listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. You deal with it.
The U.S. wouldn't defend NATO countries that don't pay?
Well, I think it's common sense, right? If they don't pay, I'm not going to defend them. No, I'm not going to defend them. I got into a lot of heat when I said that. You said, oh, he's violating NATO.
One thing I am going to try and make, though, is actual real cheesesteaks. I'm going to see if I can make real cheesesteaks this weekend. This was a request of my son.
And, the biggest problem I have with NATO, I really, I know the guys very well.
My son really likes cheesesteak. So I'm going to actually take some steak, like actual steak, chop it up, and make, like, really good cheesesteaks with onions and all that.
Friends of mine. But if you...
Go ahead, criticize that one. Shame that one. Criticize them!
The United States was in trouble, and we called them. We said, we got a problem. France, we got a problem. A couple of others I won't mention. Do you think they're going to come and protect us?
Adam, did you see the white thing that flew out of Trump's mouth? So that's funny that you asked that, right? So there was a white thing that flew out of Donald Trump's mouth during the State of the Union, and they called it a tonsil stone. Do you guys remember 2 days before that when he was doing this in the Oval Office and I saw something fly out of his mouth and I slowed it down? Do you remember that? So it's not the first time that's happened. Tonsil stone Muppet.
They're supposed to. I'm not so sure.
So yeah, I can absolutely make a cheesesteak 100%. I've done it before. But onions, I'm going to do the bread really good. Make sure, somebody told me a tip that you should put garlic and butter on the inside of the bread when you toast the bread. And all of that. So I'm going to use some of the tips. I'm going to use more than one type of cheese. I like using cheddar and American. I like the combination. I like 2 types of cheeses on my cheesesteaks. If you don't put 2 types of cheese on your cheesesteak, you're a Muppet.
Japan, with Japan we have a deal, which is a very interesting one. And I love Japan. We have a great relationship with Japan, but we have an interesting deal with Japan that we have to protect them, but they don't have to protect us. You know that? That's the way the deal reads. We have to protect Japan. And by the way, they make a fortune with us economically. There's another case. But we have to protect Japan, but under no circumstances do they have to protect.
I'll add some provolone in.
Protect us. I actually asked, who makes these deals? Yeah, Peter?
Well, so why?
No, I saw that comment about a girlfriend too. No, I just don't want a girlfriend right now. That's the reason I don't have a girlfriend. I just don't. I'm not interested, I like playing MLB The Show at night. I don't want to go to the movies. I don't know. That's kind of who I am. I'm an introvert. As much as I do this for a living and you would laugh saying introvert, with a, you know, a job like, yeah, well, that's I'm still an introvert. Okay? Like, when I'm not on social media, I'm an introvert.
Stay in NATO.
You seem like a chicken cordon bleu guy. What the fuck?
We weren't sure which one of our neighbors.
No, I don't. People always ask me that, like, you have to have a girlfriend or something. People always ask me
I
that.
view NATO.
Why do you not have a girlfriend? Like, well, what does it matter? Because I don't want one right now? I don't know. I like playing MLB The Show. I like playing fucking video games and shit. You know, I'm a nerd. That's what I do. And honestly, most girls would not like that. You know?
NATO as potentially good, but you gotta get some good thinking in NATO. It's very unfair what's been happening. Until I came along, we were paying close to 100% of NATO. So think of it. We're paying 100% of their military.
Like, my idea of a Friday night is cooking a good meal, playing my video games. You know, I work a lot. But playing video games, cooking a good meal, fucking watching a movie and so, you know, that's my idea of a good night.
And they're screwing us on trade.
And when Zelensky inevitably comes back to the White House, what do you expect from him? And do you think you'll see him in a necktie?
Well, I think what's going to happen is Ukraine.
Republicans always call me a nerd. They always say, "You fucking nerd! You little nerd!"
Wants to make.
But they don't say that in person.
A deal because I don't think they have a choice. I also think that Russia wants to make a deal because in a different way that only I know, they have no choice either.
They don't say shit in person. Because a lot of these Trump supporters think I will not get up in your face, and I will get up in your face. In real life. I can turn the introvert shit, if I have to, off. Like, at parties, in school, I was always the person entertaining and making people laugh. Like the class clown, making people laugh and all that shit. But I was inside, I was like, I would rather be in a closet playing Nintendo. You know? It's weird. Like, I can turn it off to entertain people and then, like, turn it back on.
I'm thinking of going to Saudi Arabia and meeting with...
I mean, you are a nerd, but the state is bad. I am a nerd. I don't care if people think I'm a nerd. I don't care. 7 feet tall? No, I'm 6 feet tall. What are you doing for your birthday? Nothing.
About this?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm going to Saudi Arabia.
Mr. President,
I've made a deal with Saudi Arabia where, because normally you'd go to UK first, and
Fuck, I wouldn't want to be 7 feet tall. I'm fine with the height I'm at. I don't care about that shit. Republicans always would say that I was 5'2". They're convinced I'm 5'2". I'm not 5'2". I'm legitimately 6 feet tall. Republicans, for some reason, think I'm 5'2", but I'm not.
Last time I went to Saudi Arabia, they put up 450.
I just like being a good dad, you know, doing my job, entertaining you guys, educating, you know, the political stuff. Like, my life is really not that it's busy, but, like, it's very simple in terms of there's 5 or 6 things I do.
$1 billion, you know that, right? You were there. We had
Shut up, Muppet.
We had American companies that took in 450 billion. I said, well, this time they've got.
He can leave the states being a felon. So Brett Hall, when you get elected to office, specifically the office of presidency, you have what's called diplomatic immunity, meaning that it doesn't matter if you're a felon or not.
Richer, we've all gotten older. So I said, I'll go if you
can leave the country and go to other countries and stuff. It's called diplomatic immunity.
Pay $1 trillion, $1 trillion to American companies, meaning the purchase over a 4-year period of $1 trillion. And they've agreed to do that. So I'm going to be going there, and I have a great relationship with them, and they've been very nice. But they're going to be spending a lot of money to American companies for buying military equipment and a lot of other things.
Is that a trip in the near future?
Probably over the next month and a half. Yes.
Mr. President, you told us a couple of weeks ago that you were looking to speak with President Xi of China. That hasn't happened. How come? What are you waiting for?
I have spoken to him, yeah.
Since that last phone call?
I don't want to say that, but I have spoken to him. Yeah, please.
He hasn't spoken to him since that last phone call. He would have announced it to the world.
Yeah, Mr. President,
I have a great relationship with President Xi.
But you've spoken to him.
It was hurt because of COVID.
Thank you, Mr.
That's why I don't call it the China virus anymore.
What? Did he just say that? He doesn't call it the China virus anymore, does he? Well, it doesn't get brought up that much. I want to hear this. Hold on.
Please don't call it the China relationship with President Xi. I say that, but I have spoken to him. Yeah, please.
Yeah, Mr. President,
I have a great relationship with President Xi.
But you've spoken to him.
It was hurt because of COVID.
Thank you, Mr.
That's why I don't call it the China virus anymore. He said, please don't call it the China virus.
But to be clear, you've spoken to him since January 17th?
I don't want to say that, but I have.
So she saying don't call it the China virus was enough for you, not the Chinese American citizens who were being beat because you were calling the China virus. That wasn't enough for you? Unbelievable.
I've spoken to him.
Thank you,
and
Mr. President.
I speak to him a lot.
Regarding this executive order you signed revoking security clearances at Perkins Coie,
I'm also going to the barber soon. I'm going to a hairdresser. I talked to a hairdresser the other day, and basically they're going to get my hair, they're going to style my hair, because my hair, the way that me and my son cut it, we fucked it all up. And so I let him do it. It was worth it because he's not upset about it, but I can't style it. It's longer in some places than it is in others. So they're going to kind of like fix it for me so I can have it normal again. I'm going to grow it out. Once they cut it, I'm going to let it grow for, I don't know, I'm going to try and grow it back out. I actually miss having long hair, believe it or not. I'm kind of mad I cut it. I kind of regret cutting it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I see videos with the hair long down to my fucking shoulders, and I'm just like, God damn, why did I cut my freaking hair? I just needed it. After the election, I needed a change or something. I was so disgusted by the election. I don't know. It got annoying and this and that, but, like, I really do miss it. Like, it was really beautiful, and I can't believe I cut it. I don't know why did you not stop me from cutting it? I mean, seriously, like, none of you said a damn thing. When I said I was cutting my hair, you let me cut it? You guys don't care about me. You just let me do stupid shit. Wiley, thank you for the $5. Is it me or does Trump's hair look fake? I mean, what it is he grows it out long on one side because he's bald on the other. So he flips it over the bald spot. MAGA loved your hair. Oh my God, they hate my hair. MAGA hates my hair. MAGA hated my hair when it was short. Those of you that are OG peeps, if you're one of my OG been watching me for like 3 fucking years, you guys remember when my hair was short, and MAGA would still fucking say shit about my hair. So it doesn't matter if my hair is long or short, MAGA will still say stuff about my hair. They don't care if it didn't have anything to do with it being long. They say stuff about my hair when it's short. So it's not about being long. To be fair, you said it would grow back. It will grow back. My hair will be long again in a year. My hair grows really fast. It just needs to be styled right now.
Other people involved in...
But I have spoken to him.
Thank you,
and
Mr. President.
I speak to him a lot.
Regarding this executive order you signed revoking security clearances at Perkins Coie, do you think there should be more steps like this to be taken against other people involved in the Russia collusion?
I do.
Yeah, the only reason I don't wear glasses on my stream is because I stream from a PC, so the text is bigger. When I stream from my phone, I have to have glasses on.
But that's going to be up ultimately to the Attorney General and various other people.
Absolutely. Just as a follow-up, the other night, we saw Democrats' behavior during your joint address to Congress.
Yeah.
Do you think it shows just how out of touch they are with the American people?
especially given that 79%, according to a CBS poll, approved of your.
I love this guy. Who are you with?
My name's Nick Gilbertson with Breitbart News.
I see. I really liked your questions.
With Breitbart, I mean, it's unbelievable. There's just no opposition in terms of the media in here. You cried when I cut my hair. Well, I shouldn't have cut it. Why'd you let me cut it?
Thank you very much, Mr.
Sir, regarding the executive order.
The answer is just, Nick, just to, and I know your name very well.
Honestly, like, the other part about my hair is, like, I have to get it taken care of, right? My hair grows so long, I just fucking put it in a bun and don't give a shit when I'm not fucking on here. I need a stylist to maintain my hair, you know? And I don't let men touch my hair. I only let women touch my hair. I don't let men touch my hair. I'm sorry, it's just a thing. I don't let men touch my hair. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They fuck it up. So I only let women touch my hair, and I need to find a good stylist. I loved my OG. Yeah, I like the OG short hair too, but I like my hair longer for some reason, Amy. I really do. Like, it's just more, I don't know. It looks better. It's not more comfortable though. Like, one thing I do remember is having long hair sucked. Like in terms of like comfort, it was awful. I don't know how you women, mostly it's women who have long hair. I don't know how you women don't get frustrated with your hair. Like, how do you not get frustrated with your hair? Like, it was so frustrating to have long hair. Like, it takes so much work. I remember thinking, like, how do women do this every day? And I had long hair when I was 18, 19, and 20. And then I cut it. And then I had, like, because I had spiked hair in high school. I had spikes with, like, dyed tips. Anyway. And then I grew my hair out when I was younger to have it long. And then I cut it again. Then I kept it short for a while.
Well, good job, you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, the answer is I thought it was very embarrassing for the Democrats what happened the other night. And that's not said for any other reason other than it's obvious, it's fact. Even CNN fake news said that. They came out and they said it. And worse than CNN is MSDNC, which...
So they're just not allowed in the office and they can't ask him any questions. This is really free and fair press. Whatever happened to that?
Even CNN fake news said that. They came out and they said it. And worse than CNN is MSDNC, which is the worst. And the good news is very few people watch them anymore. They have lost such credibility. And frankly, what Nicole Wallace said, I've never been a fan of hers, and she's not very talented. But I'll tell you, what she said the other day about that young man is disgraceful. She should be forced to resign. And Rachel Maddow should be forced to resign. Nobody watches her anyway. I don't know if it's not possible they pay her as much money as I hear, but certainly she's lost all credibility, both of them.
So now we're bashing MSNBC without giving them a chance to retaliate or respond.
And Rachel Maddow should be forced to resign. Nobody watches her. Tell you, what she said the other day about that young man is disgraceful. She should be forced to resign. And she's not very talented. They have lost such credibility. And frankly, what Nicole Wallace said.
What did Nicole Wallace say? Chat, what did Nicole Wallace say about the kid? She's talking about he's talking about the kid with brain cancer, I'm assuming. What did she say?
I've never been a fan of hers, and she's not very talented. But I'll tell you, what she said the other day about that young man is disgraceful. She should be forced to resign.
What did she say? I saw what Rachel Maddow said. I agree with her 100%. What did Wallace say?
And Rachel Maddow should be forced to resign. Nobody watches her anyway. I don't know if it's not possible they pay her as much money as I hear, but certainly she's lost all credibility, both of them. But what they said the other day, they should be forced to resign about that young person who is suffering greatly. Thank you, Nick.
Was it the comment about, like, this is what people did. She should be forced to resign. I guarantee what she said, and I'll look at it. was not offensive. I mean, these people, they want you to, that was the point of the propaganda, was to force the left to like comply to his ridiculous bullshit. No, you're using that kid. I'll say it. You were using that young man. That poor boy has cancer. You cut spending for research and development of cancer. Don't act like you care about cancer. But regardless, you're using a child to push pro-police propaganda.
Will you extend,
and your
if the
agenda.
TikTok deal is not made on the time?
Was to
I want to
resign
hear this.
about that young person who is suffering greatly. Thank you, Nick.
Will you extend, if a TikTok deal is not made on the timeline you gave, will you extend that?
Probably, yeah.
You will?
Probably. I think, look, we have a lot of interest in TikTok. And China is going to play a role. And so hopefully China will approve of the deal. But they're going to play a role. But we have a lot of interest in TikTok.
How long would you extend it and how close
I bet you do.
are you to a
Well,
deal?
we'll see. But if I need, I don't, right now we have at least another month, so we don't need an extension. But if I needed an extension, I'd probably get it extended. Yeah, but
Mr. President, regarding the executive orders, there was talk that he might sign one winding down the education department.
I just want his little hands off it, and I'll go back. But I'm not going to go back full time until he gets his little hands off it.
Which
I'll go back if he sells it, but he's got to sell it. You know, I don't. The control he has over that app right now, I fear that they are negotiating it to go to a right-wing platform. I'm very scared I think TikTok is in big trouble.
The education department. Are you having second thoughts on that?
No. I want to bring the schools. I want to bring the schools back to the states. And I've said
TikTok is Trump's platform right now until they sell it. You know, hopefully they sell it and we can stream on there too. But I'm not going to stream on there until they sell it. I'm fine with streaming on there. They just have to sell it. YouTube's going to be my main platform, though. I'm going to stream like this. The only difference is if I got people up in the guest box, I would just stream the guest box through my OBS.
it 100 times. We're ranked at the bottom of the list, and yet we spend more. We're ranked number one for cost per student. We're ranked at the bottom of the list in education. And I know if I bring it back to Iowa, Indiana.
So you won't have to go on TikTok regardless. You can just tune in on YouTube and you won't even have to touch TikTok. I literally got a community guidelines violation for saying Trump is not good, and I got a second community guidelines violation the other day for putting a puke emoji under a Trump video. Just the emoji, nothing else, just a sick emoji where I was sick, like the green emoji. I got a community guidelines.
Idaho.
You literally can't say bad shit about Trump anymore. To a degree, they allow it, and then they strike you.
All these great states. I think.
And that's going to get worse.
I could say 40 states. I want to bring it back. 10 states won't be perfect. 5 states will be probably not so good. But they will be every bit as good as Norway and Denmark and Sweden and all of the states that are rated at the top. If you tell me about Indiana and some of the...
I hope you guys are enjoying my Substack. How many people in here are following me on Substack, watching my content on Substack? I'm putting out newsletters. My podcast starts next week. I've already done a practice session for myself, so I know how I'm going to lay it out. It's going to be about a 30-minute. So if you're a subscriber on Substack, you're going to get access to like a 30-minute on-demand podcast where I sum up every single week. It's going to be like, I'm going to come up with a name for it, but it's Left Behind Podcast. It's going to be called. I'm going to have guests. I'm going to have all sorts of things, but it's only going to be 30 minutes. And it's going to be essentially me summarizing the week. So if you're somebody that wants to, go and watch my, and summarize the week politically and wants to listen to me rant about the week, but in sequence, no going off on tangents, no anything, just very edited and organized, me ranting about what happened, you can watch it. So somebody just brought up something that I wanted to address, which was, Adam, did you see that Gavin Newsom has a new podcast and he interviewed Charlie Kirk? I thought it was Gavin Newsom was on Charlie Kirk's podcast, but yeah, I did see that. I thought it was absolutely disgusting. Let's take a listen to some of it really quick. I was going to go over most of this in the morning, and not do this tonight. But it was really, really gross. I don't know what to say. It was bad. It was really, really, really gross. Gavin Newsom agreeing with Charlie Kirk on some issues I thought was absolutely despicable. He was talking about how much his son loves Charlie Kirk. Guys, all I can say is this. If you like my kind of commentary, you need to be supporting me. You know what I mean? Because the more you support me, the bigger I can get, the more people I can reach, the more I can do this. Because these guys are taking over. Because Trump is the president, and that's what people are listening to. I mean, this guy literally was talking about his son loves fucking Charlie Kirk, and listen to this.
Out and be like, so like you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports, that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate.
But like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace, that these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down to vulnerable communities is an issue that I have a hard time with as well. So both things I can hold in my hand.
Canadian Foreign Minister...
Agreeing with Charlie Kirk on trans issues is wild. Did not expect to see that. Agent Orange, thank you for becoming a tadpole. Gary, thank you for the $2.99 super chat. Yeah, look, guys, I've told you this before, okay? These guys are going to continue to bend the knee.
And back here in
they're going to continue to bend the knee. You're going to see more and more Democrats move farther to the right. And whenever you have this kind of tilt, right, and you have it heavily lopsided in one direction, and again, there's no disagreeing, Democrats are historically unpopular right now. Historically unpopular. And so what happens is these right-wing people and these politicians on the left tend to try and find common ground to keep their political careers alive, not fight for what's actually right. That's the problem. So you trying to appeal more to the right to run for president? Yeah, Debbie. Yeah, Desi. That's part of it. But the other part is just surface level, trying to keep his political career alive. Okay? It is primarily about keeping your political career alive. You're way behind on the live, Judy. We are past the Trump stuff. Leah, thank you for the $9.99. Says, thank you, Adam, and happy birthday to your boy. Thank you, Leah. Appreciate you so much. And he had a good birthday. We're going to actually celebrate a little bit more this weekend. We're going to go somewhere this weekend and do some stuff for him this weekend and stuff. So, yeah, for his birthday.
California New at Noon, Governor Gavin Newsom facing backlash over comments made on...
But see, this will attract middle-of-the-road people. Independents will be like, oh, maybe Gavin's not that bad. You know, at least he's not one of these wacko people on the left that supports men playing in women's sports. You know what I mean? That's what it is. That's the attempt. That's the goal. Agent Orange, thank you for the $20 super chat. Thank you, Agent Orange. Greasy Gavin had on all a little bit spokesperson from Rick and Morty. Listen, I was disgusted by it. But, you know, look, I'm not shocked. I hate to say this. And I already dismissed Gavin as a presidential candidate. Yeah. I don't think agreeing. I think he's pointing out that circumstances exist. It's not one or the other. No, I totally disagree, Tina. He shouldn't be on a podcast with a white supremacist. Okay? So we can't forgive that type of behavior. Gavin is sitting down with a white supremacist. Charlie Kirk is a white supremacist. This is not common ground. This is not about circumstances. This is about placating to white supremacy. Right? So it's much more about who he's agreeing with than what he's saying. I really care less about what he's saying. I care about who he's saying it to. right? So Charlie Kirk is not some normal, acceptable individual you should conversate with. He's a white supremacist. You should not be on there with him. And then you're not only are you on there with him, you're on there and saying that your son is a huge fan. Look, I 2 + 2 = 4. Okay? It's very obvious what's happening here. And I've said this before, and I will say it again. When fascists take power, you see, and they see, the left sees they're losing, which they are. They're getting their ass kicked right now. The future doesn't look good for the left in this country. It looks like they're going to be, it's not going to be a thing. It's going to be like the moderate, even farther right than liberal left, and then fascism. So what are these politicians doing? They're trying to survive. Politics is a business, and it shouldn't be. That's the problem. Okay? So if I'm sitting down with Hitler, or I don't need to use Hitler as an example, but anybody who's a white supremacist, right? And I'm agreeing with them on any particular issue, it's going to seem much worse than what it is. It's not so much about what he's saying, it's what he's saying and who he's saying it to. Charlie Kirk is wildly homophobic, anti-LGBTQ, white supremacist. So,
on his new podcast, the debut episode featured Charlie Kirk, who leads a conservative organization called Turning Point USA. During the 75-minute conversation, the governor suggested Democrats were in the wrong by allowing transgender athletes to participate in female sports. Well, California's legislative LGBTQ caucus blasted the governor's comments, writing in a statement, quote, "Sometimes Gavin Newsom goes for the profile and courage, sometimes not." We woke up profoundly sickened and frustrated by these remarks. Well, the governor says his new podcast is going to focus on frank conversations with Republicans as well as members of his own party. We're going to have much more on this story coming up on CBS 13 News at 5 o'clock.
And look, I have frank conversations with Republicans all the time.
China said yesterday that
I speak to more Republicans than most people over the last 3 years. There's very few people have spoken to more Republicans than I have. And I can tell you that if Charlie Kirk started getting into some of these issues and trying to get me to, fall for it or find common ground on them, I would immediately establish a foundation for that conversation, which I wouldn't be sitting down with him anyway if I'm in Gavin Newsom's position. I would say very simply put, no. I understand that you have made incredibly problematic anti-LGBTQIA+ comments in the past. And so I don't feel comfortable having this conversation with you unless you're willing to admit that trans people deserve the right to exist. And unless you're willing to admit that, I'm not willing to have a conversation with you. Plain and simple. Miranda, thank you so much, Miranda. Appreciate it. Says, I am so depressed to be back to listen full time. Hey, listen, Miranda, take your time, whatever you got to do. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks. You got to take some regrouping time. But my advice to you is to take the regrouping time and then come back, because we obviously need you back.
Defense to say no.
But take the time to do it. It's important to do it. Everyone's got to do it. Everyone's got to take breaks. The problem is there's just too much money in politics. It becomes a business for these people. It's not about what's right and what's wrong. And so the difference between Gavin Newsom's between me and Gavin Newsom is interested in his political career. He's interested in making the most money in his political career. Let me be clear. Right? And I'm not interested in making the most money. I have to make money because I have a child to feed. But I'm not trying to become a billionaire from my political career or a millionaire from my political career. I'm far away from ever becoming a millionaire. I do have to live my life, and I do want to provide for my child, and I rely on you guys to support me so I can keep doing this. Because the minute you guys don't support me, I can't do this anymore. I'll have to go do something else. I will always continue to use my voice, but I won't be able to do what I'm doing as much as I'm doing it here unless you guys support at the highest level, right? But people like Gavin Newsom are trying to maintain a career that results in the most for them, not the most for the people. I'm interested in people getting the most out of what I'm doing. I'm interested in whether that's education, information, helping people try and change. Whatever it is, whatever the things that I've done over the however long it's been, is with the goal of trying to help people. My goal has always been to try and help people. And I don't think that many of our politicians have the same mindset, and I think that's the problem. Jeremy, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Said rest, recharge, resist. Exactly. Let's listen to what Jesse Waters, this Muppet, had to say about all that's going on here, because I'm sure it's something stupid. But just before we go into this, I want everyone to know Jesse Waters was told by his own family, don't come to Thanksgiving or Christmas. So
it looks like someone is thirsty for a presidential run. California Governor Gavin Newsom is breaking with the left-wing lunatics in his party.
This is the problem. They are going to try. They are forcing. Guys, does everyone remember me predicting this? Does everyone remember me predicting this? That you would start to see left-wing Democrat politicians move to the right. Does anyone remember me saying that? And you're going to see it more and more and more. And you're going to see politicians shock you over the course of the next 4 years. Politicians that you once respected, you're going to see start pivoting to the right. Start moving to the right. Because it is not what's in the best interest of their political career to maintain that human rights standard. I don't point this out to say I told you so. I point this out so that you believe in my credibility when I'm saying these things. I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for a long time. Not just this, but engaged politically for a long time. Have my fingers on the pulse of the political spectrum, how it operates, how these politicians operate, generally speaking. And you're going to see a shift. And historically, that's been the case when these things happen. When you have a fascist win an election like this.
Making common sense on men playing in women's sports while chatting with Charlie Kirk on his new podcast.
You know what the response should have been? Is this really an issue that affects the American people? Is this really what we should be talking about, Charlie? And I don't feel comfortable having this conversation with someone who's historically been so anti-LGBTQIA+. So maybe we should discuss, let's keep this podcast about issues that actually affect the American people, not less than 0.005% of the population. The fact that we're even talking about trans women, trans men in sport is absolutely ridiculously stupid. Okay? How are you going to make my groceries cheaper? How are you going to make it easier for me to feed my family? These are the issues that affect the American people. Does Donald Trump have any idea what he's doing in regards to foreign policy? We're about to go to war. And you're talking about these singular issues that just don't, generally speaking, affect the American people. We're talking about a very, 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 very small portion of the population. We're talking about a couple cases in the entire country. It's idiotic that we're even discussing this.
You right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports, that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate.
But would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that.
Okay, Jesse, what is behind Gavin Newsom's sudden shift on his opinion regarding men and women's sports?
It has nothing to do with running for president. I'm sure of it, Judge. I went to...
Yeah, it's not only about running for president, though. It's about, just generally speaking, maintaining a career in politics, because the shift is clear, politically, that the far left, what they consider the far left, human rights advocacy, right, standing 10 toes down for human rights, is historically unpopular right now. And that's because Republicans are pushing a tremendous amount of misinformation.
To school with this kid who was a huge UNLV fan, wore a hat every single day. Remember running Rebels?
Oh, yeah.
1991, undefeated. They get to the
Stacey
championship game. That's right, Larry Johnson. And Duke beats them. Next day, kid comes in with a Duke hat.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. I can't even bear to listen to it. All right, guys, I'm going to hang it up for the night. I will be back tomorrow morning on Substack or YouTube, one of the two tomorrow. But I don't know, one of the two. Okay, so I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the gifting goal. Thank you to everybody who subscribed, everybody who did all of that stuff. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I will see you bright and early in the morning. Guys, if you have not joined the YouTube channel or you have not subscribed on Substack, after this live, I would highly encourage you to do it, right? You want less of these Muppets and more of people like me, you have to support. So I really appreciate considering dropping a subscription if you're someone who hasn't done that yet, because it goes a long way. Okay? Love you guys. Hope you enjoy your night. Take the night off from politics. Go watch a movie. Go do something unrelated to politics. That's how you maintain your mental health. That's how you stay healthy up here, because we need you healthy up here first and foremost. So go do something unrelated to politics, all right? Go have something to eat, watch a movie, whatever it is. Get away from the political stuff. Get away from the internet, whatever. And I will see you tomorrow bright and early. Take care, everyone. By the way, my link tree is in my YouTube bio now. So take care, everyone. Have a wonderful night.